Important events from the crisis of the socialist bloc until today. Fall of communism in Russia. In 1985, Mikhail Gorbachev assumed the power of the Soviet Union. A year later, he established the economic restructuring, Troika, and the political openness and transparency, Glasnost. These reforms led to the fall of communism in the Eurozone East and the dissolution of the Soviet Union. 2. Accident at Chernobyl. In 1986, a dangerous accident occurred in Chernobyl, where an atomic reactor exploded, caused the death of 30,000 people. 135 people were forced to leave the region, and more than 5 million had sequels to develop various diseases to the cancer. 3. Persian Gulf War. In 1991, Iraq invaded Kuwait for economic interests and the response of international coalition had a deployment of impressive military technology and prepared for the triumph. The oil spills and burning that occurred in this war were divisive for the environment. 4. Bosnian War. This conflict happened in Bosnia-Herzegovina from 1992 to 1995. The war was dominated by a difficult combination of nationalistic exaltation, political, social and security crises that followed the end of the Cold War, and the fall of communism in the former Yugoslavia. The Serbian leaders designed an armistice and the war officially ended with the signing of the Dayton Peace Treaty. 5. North America. After several negotiations, Mexico, the United States, and Canada signed the North America Free Trade Agreement, with the main purpose of building free trade in the northern part of the continent. 6. Attack on the Twin Towers. On September 11, 2001, a group of 19 terrorists hijacked four commercial aircraft. These airplanes were hit with the Twin Towers and collapsed. The US government, in the search of perpetrator, declares war in Iraq and Afghanistan, and thrown in immigration security measures. 7. Robots, Spirit and Opportunity. During the year 2002 and 2003, the Jet Population Laboratory of NASA California manufactured the Spirit and Opportunity robots. These twin robots were developed to explore the surface of Mars in late 2003 and early 2004. 8. The oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. On April 20, 2010, there was an explosion on the fire on the Deepwater Horizon oil platform that stung on April 22, 2010, causing an uncontrollable oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico that is causing huge damage for a complicated and slow repair. Globalization. Globalization is a process of interaction and integration among other people, companies, and governments of different nations, a process driven by international trade and investment and aided by information technology. This process has effects on the environment, on culture, on political system, on economic development and prosperity, and on human physical well-being in society around the world. Terrorism. Terrorism is the systematic use of violence to create a general climate of fear in the population and thereby to bring about a particular political objective. Terrorism has been practiced by political organizations with both risking and lifting objectives, by nationalistic and religious groups, by religious minority, and even by state institutions such as armies, intelligence service, and police. Digital era. The digital revolution of informatics is another phenomenon that has marked our era. Since the invention of the television and telephone, the world has traveled through a process of unprecedented technology advance. The progression of the computer in the middle of the 20th century has been principal innovation that has marked the revolution. Unipolar world. Unipolarity is used to describe the power structure when one superpower dominates alone. The end of the Cold War meant that previous decade's superpower rivalry now has ended. The United States emerged as the only dominant power in the world politics, since they were not true rivals to the money position. We can describe this new political situation as unipolar. As a consequence, many ideologies, movements, and revolutions were trying to emerge around the world. However, the use of violence and firearms was one of the drastic measures that people used, thus making now the term terrorist attack. However, a big step in the world started with was globalization, and thanks to this, a cultural exchange can be made a phenomenal wave, and different forms of trade, in addition to facility of communicating with someone. Thanks to the internet, a new era begins, and is the digital age, where men began to innovate and not conform, making the internet an extremely important tool and for many purposes. We own this digital age many discoveries and developed technologies. Why did globalization emerge? Because it was a for increased international trade, the expansion of financial market, the special organization of production, among other things. The globalization phenomenon reduced the distance, dissolved the border limits and the effectiveness of the political barriers. In addition, the commerce and the free circulation of capital reduced the inequality between countries. In most cases, what caused the terrorist attack of the 20th century? Most terrorist attacks are the result of long-term conflicts. Terrorism is not the cause of these conflicts, it is its most visible expression. It's grown where there is instability, ethnic and religious division, violence and repression. In many of these conflicts, violence generates violence. How does the end of the Cold War relate with the unipolar world? As we know, during the Cold War, there was a confrontation between two world powers. The disintegration of the communist bloc put an end to the bipolarism and left a great vacuum in the power that began to be filled by the United States of America, a country that became the only remaining superpower and did practically without any opposition force powerful. Tom Conrad is flesh and rich. This new reality is commonly known as unipolarism. That's why the world became a unipolar world. How can the digital era influence today's society? Thanks to the digital age, the world and general people have changed in different aspects. New perspective, points of view, purpose, interests, among other things. The internet more than anything has changed life in a very big way. Sun is a very powerful tool that stores a lot of information. You can keep in contact with someone who is far away, or do an investigation and find the answer there. New ways of thinking have generated new movements around the world, and this thanks to the new technologies. Rapidity in which international news arrives in a country is impressive. However, there are also disadvantages, such as misuse on internet itself, cell phones, tablets, computers, etc. But it has been a great step for humanity. Thanks for your attention.